welcome back to Repurposely. I am Rocky, and today, as promised, I am back to go over another way to repurpose your blog content. And today we're going to be talking about repurposing your blog content into a 10-part email campaign. And if you know anything about working online, you understand already that email is huge. I think it's like 300% return on investment or something like that. But usually, sometimes it's hard to get an idea or to build out what you want your campaign to look like. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about going over using blogs to create your email campaign. Right now, it could be your blog, it could be someone else's blog that's gone viral, that is ranking on Google on the first page or number one or what have you in your industry. And so I want to make it as easy as possible for you to get into this email marketing game. So if you're new to email marketing or you're new to online business, you are in the right place in the sense of learning how to do this smart. So let's get into it. What you're looking at on the screen is a blog post that I've written. It is fresh, brand new, and we're going to go over it today. And then we're going to make this super simple for you. All right. So let's get to it. So the first thing is just understanding what email marketing entails. And that's just sending emails to people that have opted in to get information from you, whether it's about a product or a service that you offer. You want to email these people to get them interested in either purchasing your product or even along the line of your funnel in order to get to trusting you and purchasing your product. And email marketing is perfect for that. It's the most intimate way to deal with your customers. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go through this. And the very first thing is identifying the best blog content that you want to use for your email campaign. Now that can be just high performing blog posts. It could be evergreen content. It could be tutorials. It could be anything that you feel is going to resonate with your email list. Okay, so what you do is you look at engagement, you look at the relevance, you look at the educational value for the email campaign that you're creating. These are criteria for selecting your content. Then after you do that, you begin to plan your email content. And that's a really important step because the winning is in the planning. So you want to make sure that you take your time with this and you get it right. And to start with, that starts with defining your goals. Well, what kind of a campaign do you want to run? Do you want to nurture leads, which is building relationships with potential customers and providing value for them, getting them to trust you, right? Is it to make sales, to increase conversions and signups and things like that? Is it to educate them on something that they might not be accustomed to understanding as well as you do? It can also be a tutorial, how to get started with whatever it is that you offer, whatever it is that you want to solve for them. You can walk them through a simple tutorial through an email campaign. And there's tons of other ones, but these are the major ones that most people are looking for. You're going to drive traffic either way. If you're nurturing your leads and they like what you're talking about, they're going to click on your link. If you're trying to increase conversions and your email campaign is solid, they're going to click on your link and they're going to drive traffic. If you're educating them in a way that is engaging to them, they're going to be like, yeah, this guy really knows what he's talking about. I'm going to click this link and learn more. And as far as how-tos, if your tool or service is going to help them solve the problem that you're talking about in the email campaign, they're going to click on your link. So driving traffic is pretty much a given. So we're gonna leave that part out of these 4 options. So then what you want to do is you want to segment your audience. You want to make sure that you're talking to people the way that they want to be talked to. If you're talking to a beginner, you're not going to talk about advanced things with them. They're just starting. So you need to segment your audience in the sense of who knows what, who are you targeting? And each campaign needs to target those people. It's not that you're going to target each segment within the same campaign. So you want to make sure that you know who you're talking to, you know why you're talking to them, and then you tailor your campaign to meet their needs. Then you're going to create your content calendar. You're going to make sure that you know when you're going to send out these emails, how often you're going to send out these emails, on what date, at what time, right? It's very, very important that you have your content calendar outlined. And so nurturing campaigns in this area just pretty much talks about the differences and what you would do in your particular campaign. I strongly advise you read through this blog. It's full of information and details that I'm not going to necessarily jump right into right now, but it talks about each of these 4 campaigns and how to use them. Then in your next step, you're going to break down your blog content. You're going to pull out what's the most important aspects of your blog, and you do that by reading the blog, knowing which areas you want to take out, identify your key themes, and then you're going to outline each of those emails that are going to match the key theme that you're talking about. You only want to talk about one topic in each email. You don't want to try to stuff everything that you know into one email, especially if you're talking to a beginner. Maybe an advanced person would be okay with you doing that, but I highly recommend that you find the one topic that you want to discuss and you stick to that topic. The rule of 1 is very powerful, and I definitely advise that you use that. And so here it's talking about now just dividing your blog posts into 10 digestible parts. So what you do with that is, you're going to have your introduction, you're going to have your key point or key points, you're going to have your supporting details, your visuals, your actionable tips, and then you're going to recap and you're going to tease for the next email that you're going to write for them in that series, in that campaign. Okay, and you're going to make sure that each part is clearly focused and has a takeaway. Single focus, clear takeaway, consistent structure. Very important in email marketing. You don't want it to be jumbled or all over the place. People will see that email and run away in 2 seconds. Then you're going to move to crafting and engaging your email copy. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about these writing tips, which is really simple in the sense of, you want to keep things concise, you want to keep things engaging, you want to use clear language and get straight to the heart of the message right away. People don't have a lot of time anymore. No one's sitting in front of your email and reading it line by line if it's ginormous and you're talking about all types of different things that have nothing to do with solving their problem. You want to use a conventional tone and talk like you're speaking directly to a friend, the way that I'm talking to you right now. Hey, right? Like, I'm on the other side of this camera, but I feel like I know you, right? I'm talking to you like I know you. I think that you are in a place where you're ready to start email marketing, and so I'm going to talk to you that way. I'm not going to talk to you like some stuffy little robot that just, is trying to get my point across in a very pragmatic way. I'm getting you to the point, but I'm treating you as if you were a person. I'm looking at you right now. So after that, you want to make sure that you include your hook, and a hook is just something that's like getting people involved with what it is that you're talking about. What is it that's going to get them involved? Yeah, you know what? I should read that because that's speaking directly to me. And when you do that, it makes it easier for somebody to click on your email. Okay, so next is adding your personal stories, your anecdotes. Those are the things that you've gone through in your journey and what it is that you're trying to teach them. It's what makes you human. Being vulnerable and being open to talking about your stories and your problems and your challenges and all the obstacles you had to overcome. People want to hear that. Like, don't think that you're going to talk about your problems. People are like, oh my God, no, this guy's not telling me that I can do this in 40 seconds, so I don't want to listen. No, they're going through the same problems because the journey is the same. If you, whatever your industry is, most people have the same problems and the same path that you've taken. And if you're successful, they want to hear all of it. They don't want to just hear about the good stuff because it's not all good. You have to put in the time, you have to put in the work, and you have to make the mistakes. No matter how good a resource is, you're never gonna be as good at it until you trip and you fall and you bust your ass and you get up and you figure out how to do it again and do it differently for yourself, right? And then when you can give that to a person and help them maybe sidestep a problem that you had, that's all they're looking for. But they're not looking for you to try to take every problem away, because the fun is in the journey. The fun is in figuring things out. And if somebody doesn't like that, then they're not going to be in business online very long, because there's a lot of things that you have to learn how to do, and you have to be able to take those problems and figure them out and solve that puzzle and then move on. So the next area you're doing is you're structuring your email. Every email should have a structure. Life has a structure, right? Everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And with an email, you have your subject line, you have your introduction, you have your body, and you have your conclusion. And so you want to make sure that when you're outlining your email, you're like, okay, intro, body, conclusion. And then that's it. It doesn't need to be a million miles long. It can be 200 words and still be very impactful and get them to click on your link. So make sure that you don't ramble and you get to the point. Then you want to use your visuals. You have your images, your infographics, any video clips that you want to include. Personalize your email, so use the person's name, tailor the content again to the segments that you are specifically targeting. Segments again are different areas, different audiences that you are talking to that's within your same industry. You want to include any kind of personal recommendations, things that you use that would help them in the sense, and that's where the monetization portion comes into it. So you want to make sure you can use things like that. Then after you have that aspect of it, you want to make sure you start designing your email to make sure that it's visually attractive to the person. Some people just like text. Some people love images and text. Some people are more image centric. Images are really cool because you are able to explain something quickly with an image. And so that's cool, but in the world of email marketing, if you put too many images, it can be considered spam. Your delivery could be jeopardized in that retrospect, and you won't make it to the inbox. You'll make it to the spam folder, and you don't want to be in the spam folder. So make sure that when you're adding your visuals, they are appropriate for the email and it's tasteful. It's an image that helps describe or explain what it is that you're already talking about or what you're going to get into in regards to what you're talking about in that email. You want to use email templates that are responsive. Most internet service providers right now offer these things, so that's super easy. Incorporate your visuals, your infographics, your GIFs, things like that. Maintain your brand consistency in the sense of building trust that your colors, your fonts, your logos, your email design even, right? You don't want an email design that's different every single time. You want people to get accustomed to be able to look for what's in your email quickly, find what they're looking for, pull that out, and then get moving. And keep it simple, uncluttered. We talked about this. It's easier to read and more visually appealing. Make sure you have a good amount of white space. You're looking at this blog, right? It's not a bunch of text jumbled together. It's bullet points, it's bolded text, it's white space right here, right? It's structured specifically so it's easy to read, whether it's on a cell phone or whether it's on your desktop. Again, now we're talking about layout and structure. This is not about what you're writing. This is about how the email itself is structured within the design. So you have your headers, you have your body, you have your call to action, which is in your conclusion. And then you have the footer at the end that has, your address, it has your social links, all of those different things. And that's part of the hierarchy or the visual hierarchy where you're using headings and subheadings to make it easy and you're breaking up your email information. You highlight your key points, you use contrast and color where you can, and you have just a nice visual flow. You have an image to the right, maybe a little text underneath that or to the left, then you have a headline and then a little bit more text, and then you add an image. You want to make sure that flows really nice for the person reading your email. And when you're talking about accessibility, you're talking about, your text images, your alt text, your readable fonts. You don't want to have some font that somebody has to struggle extremely hard to read. Then you have your descriptive links, which is part of your CTA. And in this blog, it has a nice little image here of HubSpot. It gives a cool little diagram of what a clear and easy email would look like. When you're talking about adding your content in your email and you're talking about adding value, people look at value differently depending on who you talk to. The easiest thing to do when you're adding value is to include some additional resources that they might not have gotten in your blog post. You can use polls and surveys to get their input. People love that. But you also want to talk about how easy something is to use, how fast they're going to get results, how common it is that your customers are getting results using the product or service that you're offering. That is more valuable than stuffing in a bunch of statistics. Okay, statistics and images are cool, but if email has none of those images, none of those statistics, and they're like, look, 98% of the people that do this get results, I'm going to click that link if it's a problem that I need to get solved. So focus on the benefits, focus on how fast someone's going to get results, how easy it is to get results, things like that. Again, we're talking about adding like exclusive content, offers, percentages off, discounts, behind the scenes content. Again, maybe you have a video of you going through the process itself. People love that. And any kind of bonus material that you can add is fantastic. It could be a lead magnet that you don't put on your website at all. You're just giving it to your email subscribers. That's also cool. And you want to encourage engagement. You want people to ask questions. You want to include your social sharing buttons. You want to invite feedback. Hey, did you like this email? What was it about it that you liked? What didn't you like? Was it too long? Was it too short? Things like that. People, you'll be surprised. People will respond to you because people want to give their opinion. They want to give their input. Then at the end, you're always putting in a good call to action, telling them what you want them to do next. It could be subscribe. It could be wait for the next email within this campaign series because it's going to tell you this and that and this. Plenty of different things, but you want to make sure that you make that easy. If you're asking somebody to click a link, make it easy to see. Make it just place it strategically for them. Use action-oriented language, verbs, learn, start, join, things like that. And then your design and visual appeal, again, for the button, you want to make it easy to see, like I said before. You want to make it bright, you want to make it big, you want to make it red. I don't care if your content or your brand colors is purple and green or blue and yellow or whatever. You make that call to action very easy to find. You could also put the call to action on links throughout the email itself, but don't add too many links because then it's considered spamming. Personalize your CTAs, use the person's name if you can, tailor it to the segment that you're talking to. If they are more advanced, tell them now get this started today. If they're beginner, learn more here, or start your free trial here, things like that. Then obviously you're going to schedule and automate your campaign. Automation tools, there's MailChimp, a Constant Contact, HubSpot, Get Response. There's a ton of them out there. You might use ConvertKit or something like that. If you don't know how email automation works, then look up some YouTube videos on how to automate your email with your email service provider, or go to their knowledge base. There should be something there that shows you and walks you through how to do that. That's beyond the scope of this particular video. You're going to set up your workflows, define your triggers, all of those different things. Schedule out your emails based off of the behavior patterns that the people have, time zones, things like that. And then after that, you're going to just monitor and analyze the performance of the email. You want to make sure that what you're sending out is something that people like and want to do. Like, what's the click-through rate? What's the conversion, bounce rates, things like that. Use your analytic tools. And then you're identifying trends. Again, segment analysis. This is a little bit more advanced. I would advise you to read the blog post. And after that, once you've done all of that, you're making your decisions based off of that feedback that you're getting from the campaign. After the campaign is done, you're going to look at that, you're going to make your adjustments, and you're going to run the campaign again with new people that you've added to your list, or change it up and do another campaign for the same people that you have on your list with a different topic. And so that brings me into walking you through a simple way to get these ideas, right? In order for you to get started quickly and designing an email and putting all of that together. And what that looks like is through my app, Repurposely.AI. So I'm going to bring you over to there, and then we're going to look at how quickly you can use a blog post to get your email campaign set up, strategy, and running quickly. So here we are over at Repurposely.AI, and as it says, you can plan and repurpose content like a genius. It's the world's first content repurposing IDE engine, and it's changing the face of how content marketing and content creation is done, content planning, all of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to log in, and then we're going to get started, and I'm going to walk you through the tool that's going to help you simplify creating your email campaign in seconds. So here we are on the dashboard, and like I always tell people, there are a ton of tools here. You have your blog title generator, your videos to 30-day LinkedIn post strategy, ton of different tools, incredible to simplify all of your content repurposing needs. But this is the one we're going to look at right here, blog or video to email campaign. So we're just going to click on that. That is on the growth plan, so it is a paid feature. If you want to try it out, you just head right over to Repurposely.AI, set up your plan, and get started. Okay, so right here, like it says, you can take a blog or a video and turn it into an email campaign. I already have a blog link here. It's my trusty blogstarter.com. And what you do now is you look at what campaign you want to start with. Do you want it to be a nurture campaign? Do you want it to be sales, educational, or how-to email campaign? And so normally when you talk about starting a blog, depending on your audience, it could be for beginners, it could be for intermediates and things like that. But we're going to assume that we're talking about starting a blog and we have a beginner audience. And I want to walk through when they sign up on my email list on certain things that they can do to get started with their blog. So I'm going to click on how to email campaign. I'm going to drop down to GPT-4 Omni, and it's as simple as that. I'm going to click generate, and we're going to get our ideas. And as it loads, it comes up pretty quickly. I would say roughly 30 seconds or so, depending on your internet connection. But what happens now is miraculous, okay? So here you're going to get 10 ideas and 10 campaign opportunities to start with in regards to an how-to email campaign. And so for one, you have your subject line here, and it says how to choose the perfect blog niche in 2024. It's going to tell you what the problem is that you're trying to solve, struggling to find a niche that attracts readers and keeps you motivated. The hook is discover the secrets to selecting a blog niche that not only interests you, but also has a potential for traffic and monetization. So that would be something that I would be interested in if I was looking to start a blog and I was like, oh, like how does this work? Like how do I choose the perfect blog niche, right? Perfect, it's from the start. And then it's talking about like step-by-step guidelines and setting up your blog. And the problem is being overwhelmed by technical aspects of starting a blog. So in that email sequence or that particular email I would send out, I would talk about some of the best tips and a step-by-step outline of what I would do to start my blog. Then the next thing is mastering SEO for a blog, a beginner's guide, how to create engaging content that keeps readers coming back. So as you can see, this goes down the line in the sense of how you're going to talk to your email list using this campaign. And so you have the ultimate guide to monetization, which is the 5th email, then how to use social media, then essential tools for every blogger, how to build an email list from scratch, all the things that are important with having a blog, how to analyze your blog's performance, and then how to create a content calendar for consistent posting. So this is going to give the email list everything that they need in regards to starting a blog and an email series. And if you haven't converted them within this particular campaign, no problem. They're still going to get your email. They're still going to, at some point when they're ready to start with you, they will. But this is giving you a really good outline and ideas to start with when you're creating that campaign. And this works for blog posts, it works for any video. It doesn't matter what your niche is. The idea here is my AI looks at what that blog post or video is, analyzes it for the most valuable information that's going to turn it into an email campaign. It's not just giving you ideas from the blog, it's figuring out what's the most important aspect of that particular blog or video and saying, what do we need to talk about in this email campaign that's going to help this person get more clicks, gain more trust. It also depends on what you select over here. If you're nurturing them, then you're building trust. If you're trying to sell them, you've already built trust. And now you're going to talk about ideas from your blog content or video that's going to move them towards making a purchase. Okay, and then you have your educational, and that's just talking about different pieces of information from that particular piece of content that you want to either send them back to learn more about, or to educate them on where they might not be as familiar. So this is really cool because it separates and it segments exactly the type of campaign that you need. So that's what this looks like. That's how you can turn a blog post into a detailed 10-part email campaign strategy in seconds. And so hopefully this has been helpful. If it is helpful, like and subscribe, right? Like if you like content like this and you're in the process of getting started with content creation, or you're a little bit more advanced and you're looking for ways to connect your content to use on multiple platforms to get your marketing message heard much easier within the content strategy that you're using, this is a wonderful tool. Sign up for Repurposely in the sense of subscribing and get more information about how to use this tool. And then if you want to sign up for free and get your 100 blog ideas, you can do that. So thank you so much for watching and riding with me for this time. And I will see you next week with a brand new piece of information to help your content strategy and planning and creation be even more valuable for your users and visitors. Take care.